Hey everybody. So yeah, today we have a small bug to fix. The problem is that when you add a light and you animate it, and you can't see the light right now because the lights in ThreeJS aren't visible unless there's something for them to, only their effect is visible. They themselves are not visible by default. There are some tricks that people do to make them look visible, like add a mesh where the light is and all that, but by default they are not visible. So like if I were to add a new mesh in here and I were to move it up, or back up, let's say 2, we have a light sitting at 0, 0, and then I convert that into the kind of mesh, kind of material that cares about light. See, we can see there's a light down here, and it is animating. It's going from full animation or full to not. So let's go ahead and update the intensity. So basically, it's starting at 1 and ending at 0. So let's make it like 100. 100. So over 3 seconds, it goes from 100 to 0. Oh, we ended up with 10. Um, so, and as you can tell, there's not really a big difference between 10. Um, and then let's go ahead and turn that to 1. And now it's not animated anymore. So the problem that we have is that if I try to look at like one of the colors, I get this error in the console. Now it's not a blocking error. It's not breaking everything. It's not printing anything. It's just whining in the console, which is a good thing. I mean, I think that's what you want. You want breakages to sort of be easy to debug because you can see, okay, this is where the problem is that get current and all that. But you don't want to bother the user. You want the user to be able to continue to do work. So I think the basic problem, okay, so we are standing at a crossroad right here. We could say that what we want to do is actually get colors. So if I look at a light, it does have a color. So we want to get the colors to animate, or we want to not have a bug, not have a console error. And that's a tough choice. That's always a tough choice. I think a lot of developers sort of in decide, oh, okay, I want to fix this. I want to just get it to work for colors. But as a developer, you typically don't know. That's you just making a decision. It's really more the business folks that know whether you actually wanted the color to work or not. So, like if you're in a business environment, you typically would want to write, maybe fix this issue so that you don't have this error because it's not. It's a bad look. To have an error but not actually fix it where you just take it on your own to decide you're going to make colors um, um, animationable, right? So that's, and I think and the only problem with that, like honestly, it's kind of interesting. It only happens once, I think, or did we just, yeah. So it only happens. Let's go back to intensity and now go back. Green. Yeah. Okay. So if you go from something that works to something that doesn't work, it breaks. Um, the only problem with just saying, oh, okay, now I'm going to fix this. One is you don't know if they really want it to fix. Right? I do because this is my application, so it works however the hell I want it to work. But if you're working in a professional environment, you really truly don't know. Like there may have been 100 meetings with all the big shots where they said, no, we never want to, and we want the color to be set. Once the color's set, we don't want that animated. And so then you're way here at the bottom of the pecking order, and you're just making decisions. You're just going to seem out of control doing that. Uh, Second of all, they may have something way more important that they want you to work on. So just get this thing in a stable point and write up a bug, explain exactly everything so that the next developer coming by will have some hints on what they need to do, and then let them focus on that. The third and probably the biggest thing is that these things tend to be kind of like you find an issue, then you fix the issue, and then in the process of fixing the issue, you find another issue, and then you fix that issue, and then you find 3 issues and you fix those 3 issues. Like it can end up, you could end up going down what is known as a rabbit hole, where it's just all these different directions and everything's just out of control. And then you may have find thinking you have issues that aren't actually issues, and just causing all kinds of chaos and mischief. So, typically it's better to get it into a stable form, write up a bug, and get that thing out there. And what I'm going to do is I don't really care if the color of a material can be updated or not. And the reason I don't care at this point is because there's a couple ways to do this, right? The light could or the light or the material could be animated, and it's sort of duplicate. And maybe I want both. I don't know. I'm just not into it, and that's not what I'm doing right now. So the next step is, so I've decided I just want to get this error to go away. And I have a gut feeling, and I could be wrong, is that in my configuration system that I built, which decides what things are processed when, I probably should not have had lights in that list. That's what I'm hoping is wrong. So all I have to do is remove lights from that, and I'll be fixed, I hope. So that happens. I don't even know where that happens. I believe that happens in the maybe the animation service. Okay, so supported props dictionary. So I'm saying that, well, so right now this is actually configured right. I'm saying the only thing that should care about red colors is scenes. So I was hoping that I had lights in here too, and that I could fix that. I'm curious if I go back to intensity. Let's look at this. And if I go to rotation, let's say. See, I don't get that same error for rotation, because in the configuration, I say only meshes matter. But for some reason, for red, green, and blue color, it's only supposed to care about scenes. And for some reason, scenes are showing up. I mean, for some reason, it's breaking for lights when it shouldn't even care about. It should be ignoring the lights. So let's go ahead and go and start debugging. Okay, so it's up there, and it's supposed to be if it has a property of background. So I thought that just having a property of background would be enough to prevent this line of code from running. Let's see, let's go back to the console. This line of code should never be achieved because it doesn't have a property of background. So I shouldn't go in here. So I don't understand how I'm getting here, because I'm saying if the 3 property name. Oh wait, this is checking to see if the property name is background, whereas this one is checking to see. So I can't see. Okay, so all this checks to see is, hey, is it background? So why is the... So this is saying, hey, if the property name is background and the property name is R, which is probably exactly what I did, then run this. So to me, it seems like we shouldn't even be getting here. So it's saying, hey, if it's look at, then it's a camera, but if it's here, so it seems like we should not. Okay, so it seems like we should never get to even get current, because what it seems like to me is this item is getting into the table, into the filtered. So there's a filtered items, right? So filtered table data. It seems like it should have been filtered out, because this is not a supported property. So let's go look at and see. So this should be disqualifying the thing, because it should be disqualifying this light from the list when we're looking at these colors, because only scenes should be returning. So, and this looks in the supported directory, it looks at the filtered part and sees if that row type is in there. So let's check that out. And see, this is like, so I'm growing as a developer, right? You should always be growing as a developer. And I'm telling you, every time I ever see any kind of code like this, it's always buggy. It never ever, and it seems like even as even though I keep growing as a developer and getting better over the years, this these sorts of structures always end up being buggy. And I don't really understand why. It seems like they make sense, but they just don't. So I'm going to go from X rotation to intensity. So I get here and it's filtered, it passes. Um, I probably should have checked it, but I'm going to go back to red. And I'm in here. So my supported dictionary has all these things. My filtered property is red color. So supported dictionary, red color. And then what's my row type? Is light. So this should be returning a false. So let's see what happens if we copy the whole thing. We go to the console. Let's go ahead and clear it. And it is returning false. So the filtered table should not include, shouldn't include this row. And there's only 2 rows, right? So let's see, what is our row? I guess I don't know why, maybe I don't have it activated. Row. Oh, row. Okay, this is our row. And this is our light. So we get a false. And so what we want to do is see if it won't stop there. I wonder if it'll come back to here. See, that's kind of the thing that's kind of a bummer about the debugger, is that our filtered table data, like we never get another chance to break under here. So I'm just going to put a console log of the filtered table data on line 77. Let's see. Are we running? We are. Oh, no, we are not currently stopped. Okay, so I'm going to end up writing another line of code. So this is going to end up redrawing. Okay, I'm not looking at the right component. The right component is animation property component. Animations property component. So this is over here. And I thought it was line 77. So right here. Okay, so I'm just going to add a console log. And really, honestly, the biggest reason I'm doing that is just so I have a place to break on. Filtered table table data. And this dot filtered. So basically, I'll get a redraw. I'm not going to put another picture. I mean, another mesh. I'm just going to have the light because it's just going to be easier. We can't see anything in the visualization, but okay, so we should have some filtered data. Okay, so filtered table data. So this is, right? That makes sense, right? Because we're saying that, what are we saying? We are saying that this is animated. And if we go to the animation, we're looking at X position, and lights have an X position. All right, so like if we go, let me go ahead and get rid of this. And so now if we go to Y position, we should be good. right? We got our one item. There's no reason to dig in there. So now let's look at X lookat. A light does not have an X lookat. Filter data is 0. We get no bug. We go to X rotation. Filter data has no data. That's good. That's exactly what we want. And then we go to red. Filter data still has nothing. So that's good. But if we go to intensity, filter data has one. And then if we go, let's go all the way back up to X. Filter data has one. Now let's go straight to red. And it's broken. For some reason, if we go from red to like, or like if we go to Z lookat, because the light doesn't have it, it works, and then it writes itself, right? Because we come back over here to red and it's happy. But for some strange reason, if we go from something that's good, like intensity, something that works good, I guess is not the right word, and then we go back, it's broken. All right, so now we know exactly, like, I think we know exactly how to really cause the error in a good way, consistently. Okay, so we know it's this line of code. What line of code is it? I'll say it out loud so hopefully I can remember it. We know it's line 227 where we see the issue. Okay, so and actually that's where we see the issue, but that's not the problem. The problem is it gets into the filtered data list. I believe that happens here. So this is where we can kind of see what's happening. And what we really want to understand is why filter. Okay, so even before this, so on line 67. Okay, so where are we? We are bad right now. So let's go ahead and undo these two. And let's get good again. Let's get working again. Now, line 66, line 67. Okay, intensity. Red. All right. Our filtered data is what? Okay, so our filtered data already has a value. And it seems like filtered data should not have anything in it at this point. But it seems like it should get overwritten. I wonder if there's no matches if it doesn't get overwritten. See, it's already in there. But it seems like when this runs, all we're going to get is what is our filtered property? Okay, we don't know yet. Okay, so I think our filter property is going to be red color, right? So filter data does have something in it, but it seems like this data filter should return all falses, so it shouldn't have anything in it after this is over. So let's go ahead and put a breakpoint there. So we'll have a chance to look at filtered data. Okay, so let's go back to the console. Let's run this guy here. Oh. Where are we? Where am I? Where am I? Okay, we're here. So this whole thing failed. So then it didn't overwrite the old filtered data. So it looks like we need to add. So basically this supported to, but it's weird. Okay, that's weird. It's weird that is happening. Control V. Okay, so that's not the undefined. Is it because, and that's not working. And then what is 3 dot property name? I think that's scene, right? That's something. No. Okay, so something in that function is failing. So basically inside of this call, where are you? Is it this guy that's failing? Okay, let's go back to our sources. Okay, that's good. Okay, so my call is different than this. Okay, so this is what I care about. This should be perfectly fine. I think. That's my guess. Let's see. Yep, so that is false. Okay. So then let's go our source. Let's step. Let's step. We don't have any errors, right? We're good. Yeah. Clear. Clear. Run it. Okay. And then okay. Let's go back to our sources. So we're here. Our filtered data table is nothing. Oh wait, so now we're not going to have any bug. And our property name is red color. And I don't think we're going to have a bug now. I think it's going to work perfectly fine. Step. Ooh, very mysterious. Okay, that worked. Okay, so now we're going to go back to intensity, which we know works. And now we got it. And we're all good. And we're going to clear this. And then I guess I can also hit that to clear it. And then we're going to go back to red. It should stop. This is when it breaks, right? Oh, we already have an error. Okay, so basically it looks like what I'd misdiagnosed was where the error was happening because we didn't even get here and we already have our error. So that's on line 227. And that's this, and this is get current. Oh, and this is because the template is calling get current before and throwing an error, and apparently somehow that timing is causing the entire async cycle to break, and it's breaking out of it, it's arrowing out of it, and then what's happening is it's not updating the table. Or maybe it is updating the table, and that's why everything keeps working. And we're just seeing, and you'll see that a lot in Angular, where something breaks because of the way you're calling it from the template, and then the timing gets you, and all that. So basically, what's happening is this. I think 3 dot. So where are we stopped? We are not stopped here. Okay, so we need to stop here. And the problem with that is that since it's getting called from a template, it's just going to get called over and over and over again. Okay, see, now we're here and it's all fixed and everything is fine. And that whole thing was just kind of like the shepherd yelling wolf when there really isn't a problem. It's just a timing issue. But we don't want this. This is not good for us. But let's see. See, it's just going to keep calling this because this thing has a background. So we will go back over here to intensity. Okay, now we should be able to put our breakpoint in here. And that was the line that things break on, 227, and that. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that, like, depending on the time in the morning when you get to work and you have to do your stand up, you might report a completely wrong diagnosis. You might say, "Oh, the thing, the for some reason the configuration is not working properly and I need to dig into that." But what it actually is a timing issue from the template. Logically, it's probably something that you could just ignore, but really you don't want to just ignore things. These things sort of add up, and together they can come together to cause a huge problem. And they are just your prototypical, what would you call it? The tech debt, right? Like, we can figure this out right now. It's pretty quick, but in the future it could be very difficult. And I think the problem is, so now let's go back up to red. So we're here, and the problem is that this 3object get property name is undefined. And so we don't really want to run that if the object if that object is undefined. And I don't think we want to run any of this if the object is undefined. So up here I say if pair, do this, and I think the ideal thing would just say and if 3object 3 property name so is not equal to undefined. So this is line 227. So let's go to 227. 227. So just to reiterate, because I know this is a little weird, this guy's, there's a timing issue. So we change this drop down. The get current gets called. There's a get from the template after this has been changed, but before the filter list has been updated. If the filter list was already updated, then that get current would never be called, so we would never see this error. That's why this error doesn't ever cause any breakages or is nothing you would notice from the front end, because it's just like this weird little timing error that ends up resolving itself. But it looks like, it's very, very, very unprofessional to have something like that in your console. And it's so much easier to fix something like that now. Now, my guess is, is that if we just add that to here, we'll be good. But unfortunately, we don't know the 3object yet. Where does the 3, or is it it's. So what I'm trying to figure out is why 3object does not exist. And okay, so 3object gets set here. So it looks like that 3object does not change either way. So we just need to move that assignment above here. So we didn't need that before, but now we actually wanted to inspect it and fix that. So I don't know if this returns a true or false. I can't remember if undefined. I know there's a lot of weird stuff in JavaScript, but I do know that you can do this, undefined. If the 3object is equal to undefined, I know you can do that. I do not remember if if checking something against undefined returns true or not. So let's go ahead and, oh, did it not? Oh, I have an extra. It's weird that I guess it's not weird. Okay, Okay, so let's see. Let's get our console up and running. Let's get rid of our debugger console. If this doesn't fix it, I know this video has gone way too long. Yeah, it's 30 minutes. We'll have to revisit this issue tomorrow. So show edit, animated, animation, and intensity, and then back to red. Nope, that did not fix it. Let's see, 227. I don't know, did it? Oh, wait, and if it is, and I cannot even tell you how many times I do that. It should be not equal to undefined. Not if it's equal to undefined. And let's try that again. Edit, and then animated. Then, oh, Kiwi, don't scratch up my chair. I think when my cat sees that I've been doing something too long, it tries to stop me by scratching at my chair. Okay, let's go look at the console. Let's clear this, and let's move from intensity to red, and we got no problems. All our problems are gone. Woo! All right, so we got one console log to remove. I might as well do that right now so we don't waste time on that tomorrow. And what are we doing tomorrow? I don't even know. Got that fixed, and it's fixed for everything because it was above. So I don't even remember what's on deck. Okay, so we got the light. I think we've got the intensity animated. We got the change showing. So it looks like what we need to do with tomorrow, I'll be picking out a new field. So anyways, once again, very sorry that this video was so long again. Debugging is very long. It takes a long time. I actually I didn't realize just what a big, how much time that takes. And I think one thing that it might be taking me longer in this scenario because I sort of, like when you go through like a debugging fix, you do that 20, 30 minutes of ramp up and then knock out a bunch of bugs. What I'm doing is I'm fixing a bug, then kind of going back, and then I have to ramp up again, and then go back, fix it, go back, ramp up again. So I think this process of sort of recording everything is causing things to take longer than they probably would if I was just heads down knocking out bugs. But anyways, I do think it's very, very valuable for me at the very least, and hopefully for some of you to sort of just watch that process of going from, of debugging and figuring out what's going on and all that. This was a very good example of where I thought it was in one section of code and it was in a whole different section of code. So anyways, happy coding everybody. Bye.